you get some rest or you worked? I guess you worked all weekend. I know you.
A little bit of traveling because I was in Mexico meeting with our good friends from Eugenia, who will be in our joint AMA, right? So yeah, a little bit of technically it's work, I guess, right? But different type of work, right?
Yeah, I guess. But are you refreshed? This is an important week. This is an exciting week for all of us. So, are you ready to get started, bro?
Every day, man, every day. Dega is
Okay.
the main focus right now of everything. So yeah.
Okay, so let's go. Let's start our week. Let's start everything going. And remember to participate in our daily challenge. Remember, we have a daily challenge. It's a daily tweet that goes out for you to support it. All you have to do is like it, retweet it, mention three friends, and you get the chance to win 1,000 DEGA tokens. Remember, all these tokens will be tracked, and at token generation event, you'll get your tokens. So participate because it's another way different than the ISPO to get your DEGA token, so you have more chances. Also, we invite you to participate. And to understand a little bit about that, and we do this every day. We talk about the ISPO. We talk about bonuses and the dynamics you can use to get into this really amazing, cool project. So I'll hand it over to Carlos so he can tell you more about it.
Sure. So basically, every day we do a short explanation of what the ISPO is, right? For everybody that's new, for everybody that's listening to the recordings here in Twitter Space or in YouTube. So in short, an ISPO takes the concept of delegation, right, or staking in blockchain, right? If you're not familiar with that, definitely do go and Google it so you can get an idea about how that is. So in delegation, normally people in the Cardano blockchain, right? And we're bringing this to other blockchains, but let's use Cardano since it's very well known there. They do delegations to a what's called a stake pool, right? And a stake pool is just a server, right, that validates blockchain transactions and adds them to a block. So that's what makes a blockchain decentralized, right? So not everybody has the technical capabilities to set up blockchain infrastructure. So many protocols, right, very intelligently decided to create this concept of delegation. So I can set up a node, right, Carlos, and then somebody else can delegate to me, and then we split the rewards, right? And the delegation helps me because the more delegation I have, the more blocks my node can validate. Therefore, the more ADA rewards I get, right? The more Cardano I get. So that's kind of like, in short, how delegation works, right? I set up a node, people delegate to me, we generate more rewards, we split the rewards, right? And normally it's 5% for the host of the node and 95% for the delegate. So an ISPO takes this concept and says, well, what if we keep 100% of the rewards? We, the node host, right, or the validators, we keep 100% of the rewards and we'll give you our own project token in exchange for that as a reward. So it's kind of like a loyalty rewards program in that sense, right? You're, distributing people rewards for supporting you on a given platform. And in this case, basically, when somebody delegates to the DEGA stake pool or the DEGA SPO, they're supporting two projects, right? They're supporting us in our node to help secure and validate and decentralize the Cardano blockchain. And they're also supporting DEGA per se, since we're getting 100% of the rewards. We use that to continue building and creating value for the ecosystem. So that's kind of like the switch there, right? We get your delegation, you get the DEGA rewards, and we build together, right?
Yeah, but one of the most important things here is the rewards. The rewards for the Gas ISPO come with bonuses that you can get: partnership bonus, NFT bonus, and the time of staking bonus.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe we just talk about those three and then we move on because I think
Yeah. So basically, the time duration bonus is based on how long are you doing delegation for us, right? So if somebody has supported us for, I don't know, 20 weeks, they're going to be rewarded more than somebody that supported us for 2 weeks, right? Because that's a beautiful thing about ISPOs. You can, delegate and undelegate whenever you want, right? So you're not locked in by any means, right? And this is something that the Cardano protocol provides. So you're secured by them, right? By its decentralized consensus protocol. So, we want to make sure that the people that have stayed with us because they wanted to, right? Again, there's no minimum lockup or anything. So if you've been with us, it's because you truly believe in our vision. So we want to make sure that you're properly rewarded for that, right? So there's a bonus there that's giving out based on that. You can find the numbers, the details of, because it's a table, right? So several different numbers. So you can find that in our blog, in our website at dega.org or dega.org, or just ask about it in Discord and somebody will share the link. So that's essentially the duration bonus. Very, very simple. The longer you delegate, the more rewards you'll start to accrue. Then there's the other one, which is the partner bonus, right? So basically, this one is based on the fact that if you hold any of the tokens from our partner projects, then you gain an additional DEGA reward on your stake, right? So the more you stake, and the fact that you have partner tokens will give you even more rewards because it's percentage based. So we have Meld, we have Kopi, and we have BiFi, right? Those are the three Cardano tokens. We have other partners that we've announced, like Bricken, but they're not Cardano based. So this is only for the Cardano based partners. So basically, you just need to hold the equivalent of like something around like $50 or something like that of those partner tokens, right? So it's a very low barrier to entry. Anybody that has any of those tokens basically can take part of that. And then there's the other one, which is the final bonus, which is the pre-mint pass bonus, right? So, and to be clear, right, everybody, because we get this question a lot, this pass is not the NFT itself, right? This pass is just in a database, right? We'll give you the NFT once we finish the ISPO. The reason being because all of these things that you're doing in the ISPO, the fact that you're getting bonuses, all of that will be locked into your NFT when we mint it. So the rarity, the power level of your NFT will all be based on things that happen during the ISPO, right? But for the moment, you have the premium pass, right? It's mintable from Telegram. And once you have it, then you're starting to get an additional 5% bonus reward, right? And once you get that, basically, as soon as you buy it, and just make sure to buy it with the same address that you're doing your delegation, your staking, you'll get that reward. And that's about it. Those are the three bonuses.
I was trying to unmute myself, like the microphone didn't work. But there's another thing I wanna remind you, everyone, is the referral code, because you get all chances by using the referral code, Carlos.
Yeah. Basically, you get rewards for all the sales that we do in going forward. And this right now, it's only the premium pass, but there'll be many other products and services up for grabs. And everybody that you've referred, even if it's right now just for the premium pass, they will continue to be your referee, right? So basically, you can continue to earn from all the products and services that DEGA will be providing going forward.
So, for example, if I bring like my friends, developers that are working in gaming, and they use my referral code, everything or a lot of the services they use, I will also see a percentage of that as the person who referred them.
Right? Yes.
Yes. Oh, nice. Yeah. So you gotta get your referral codes. Is in the DEGA bot in Telegram. So use it. It's really easy. Just in your private chat with the DEGA bot, it is the command to get the referral code. Get my referral code and use it and share it. Don't miss that opportunity. But Carlos, moving on with our topics is okay. So we are obsessed. We are obsessed with tribal economies, tribes, guilds, and all those things. And of course, this comes from the gaming world. So I wanted to ask you about what is your vision of gaming tribes, clans, guilds after DEGA? After everything we're doing in DEGA, what you call it? You call them geos, I think, is the official name. But I mean, like the official name is geos, but we call them tribes.
No, I wouldn't
So
say
I don't know if
it's
it.
not a no. Their name is actually tribe. Geo is what they are, right? It's a definition.
Oh,
So
okay,
it's a concept, right? Geo is
okay.
a concept, right, under which many different types of organizations would fall. So yeah, we just needed a word to be able to refer to it instead of listing every time that the many different types of organizations, right? So right now, in Web 2, even not only Web 3, like we can see that everything is heading towards a very social and, let's say, um, community-based system, right? So even in Roblox, their lifeblood is basically all the third-party games that are being built there. If you go to Fortnite, they just released Fortnite Creative 2, which is completely based on allowing people to customize their own Fortnite maps. You can customize them to a point in which they don't even look like Fortnite anymore. And basically, Web 3, we've always known this, right? So in the previous, let's say, cycle, we had every project was launching with gaming goals, right? So it's pretty clear that's where we're headed, and these are all organizations that are not the game itself, right? You have the game, the company, the studio making a game, but you have the whole satellite, the whole universe of satellites that are around that game. And to list a few, we can say there are esports teams. You have gaming guilds, which are not the same. You have art studios, right? Skin studios. You have third-party developer platforms, right? So basically, people making or building games on top of existing games. And and on top of that, you have simple like communities, right? Like forums and subreddits and everything that builds around that, right? So there's probably a few more that if we just sit down, we could probably write up a whole bunch of different types of things or companies, organizations, communities that grow around the game. So nobody is paying attention to all of these organizations, even though they are the ones that make or break a game, right? So if they abandon a game, it sucks. If they work passionately on a game, then it becomes great. So we only focus, usually you only have people talking about the game itself and the players, right? The individual players, right? Some of these players are part of some of the organizations like gaming guilds, right? But there's like dedicated, professionals, right? Building these types of organizations. And that's what we're talking about, right? So it's so neglected that there wasn't even a term for them, right? Because you and I discussed this a lot, and we were always like, how do we call these guys, right? And with the rabbit as well. So then we had to invent the term, and we settled on gaming ecosystem organizations, basically. So that's geos. So every time we say geos, we're talking about any of these types, right? Esports teams, guilds, third-party developers, game designers, etc. Right? So right now, again, they're neglected, right? So with DEGA, the DEGA Tribes program, right, is our effort to be able to bring them to the forefront of the industry, right? Because I think that as time goes by, it won't be the guilds and the esports teams coming to the games for like, hey, can you set up a tournament with prizes? Can you do this or that? I think it'll be the other way around. I think that games will come to tribes and like basically beg them to be a part of their game, right? Because they'll know if they get 12, 14 tribes or more in their game, that'll guarantee their success. And I think that they'll have their own massive brands, right? Gaming guilds and esports teams and all of these geos will have their own massive brands that'll even rival that of the gaming brands, right? And a good example, something obviously this example is sort of exaggerated, but you can understand the dynamic here. Is like, for example, Nike. Nike is a very big brand, obviously, right? A multi-billion-dollar company, right? And right now, they're doing integrations with Fortnite, and Fortnite went on to design an entire world for Nike. It's called the Switch Store or something like that. So Swoosh is kind of like the brand that the sub brand that Nike created for NFTs, Web3, gaming, stuff like that, metaverse. So Swoosh has its own world in Fortnite, right? And I can bet you it was Fortnite that went to Nike to ask them for that, right? Not the other way around. And Nike also has a presence, I think it was in the sandbox that they were working with. I can't remember right now. But there's a whole bunch of brands working with these metaverses, right? Adidas also launched their NFT collection about a year ago, I think, a little bit more maybe. So it's pretty clear that the games need the brands as much as the brands need to be in the games, right? So as the geos grow, as gaming guilds grow, as esports teams grow, it'll be the games coming to them and begging them to join their ecosystem, right? So that's kind of like the vision, that I see going. I think this will happen regardless of what we at DEGA do or anybody else does. This is just a trend, right? But before I jump into like specifically what we're providing, not sure if there's anything you'd like to add to that, Freak. Having trouble unmuting, Freak?
Yeah. Yeah, finding the. I'm not gonna mute anymore, bro.
Yeah,
I'm just
you need
gonna.
to quickly unmute it.
It hides. No, when it locks, it hides the. So it should have. Yeah, but whatever. It's not easy. I'm not gonna lock it anymore. So regarding the Dega tribes, is we've talked about how ISPO tools and all these things will work for the tribes. But first, before we go in your dream and your vision of the future, you already explained a lot of it, but it's more about how can we connect the Dega tools with this in specific cases. What came to my mind on Friday in our conversation on Friday and Thursday about staking and all those possibilities for the tribes, kind of like subscription systems and all those things that brings to the tribe. Dude, that blew my mind in possibilities of what to do. So I don't know if you want to talk a little bit more about that and what those tools will bring to this. We have 13 tribes already, and anyone can open a tribe and bring their people and their team and grow it, and we actually help them grow. So I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about that.
Sure, happy to do so. So right now, most of these geos, right, are completely abandoned, right, in the sense that if you go to a bank and say, "Hey, can I, ask for a loan to grow my esports team, my gaming guild, whatever," right? Like all of these geos, right? If you want to grow your geo, you go to a bank and ask for money, they're gonna laugh you out of the bank. Like, they're gonna say, "Bro," they're gonna be like, "Bro, we're not gonna give you money so you can play video games," right? That's probably what they're gonna tell you. So it's hard to get money from a bank. Well, I wouldn't say hard. It's borderline impossible to get money from a bank. Then you have private investors. Certainly, some investment you could get, right, but very very few, right? Like, because most people are not going to give you money again to set up your geo. So it's a pretty difficult situation, right? And then when you start looking at business models, there's very limited business models right now, which is basically like if you're an esports team, you can win the competitions or you can sell advertising, right? And then if you're a skin designer, you can only sell skins in a given game. So there's kind of like very limited situation that you're in right now. So basically allowing this business model to have options for both financing and revenue is what we're going to build with DEGA, right? Obviously, a pretty basic and simple one is, an ISPO. That's something that we're already doing ourselves. Bringing this to the masses, right? Allowing people to be able to do this from their phone, just do a few clicks and set up an ISPO from their phone is something that we're building towards with DEGA. So that'll be one option, right? To start growing a community, start bringing in partnerships, start bringing in relationship and leveraging that will be a great opportunity for a lot of people. But there's also non-Web3 side of things, right? And I think that's where things like conventional subscriptions will work just fine there as well. And but more importantly than each of these different types of mechanisms of revenue that we can set in, put into place, like doing partnership with brands and advertising, subscription services, ISPOs, NFT sales, token minting, um, more so than all of these types of things, I think it's important to align this in within the sense of a strategic plan, right? So with DEGA, we're going to create a funnel, right, to bringing people from Web3 and Web2, right, bring them in and take them step by step in towards building a brand and building basically an online business, right? That's what they are at the end of the day. A geo is a form of an online gaming business. So we're going to structure that funnel so that people can have a path, right? Because sometimes when you're and I've done many businesses in my life, right? So every time you're starting off in something new, you're just completely lost, right? Even if you know the basics and if you read stuff about it, it's still a very hard thing to do. So providing that, let's say, recipe and guidance, right, will be critical for people to learn how to go about growing and engaging with communities and building out these revenue models for their brand and basically picking the right ones, right? Because somebody might say, well, we're just going to be Web3. We don't care about Web2. That's fine. Somebody might be the opposite, might say, I just care about Web2. I don't care about Web3. And the smart people will actually be the ones that say, it doesn't matter if it's Web2 or Web3, right? I need to connect with the people that connect with my values. So I'll use both, right? Both tooling. And in this context, Web2 is mostly referring to centralized things and Web3 to decentralized things, right? So you can do both. You can do a subscription systems combined with a token system, and we'll provide guidelines in how to go about those things. So basically, that's kind of like the short version of this, right? That's what this Tech Ed Pride programs will be about taking people, helping them get set up, see what tools they have at their availability, what are the main principles and steps to go about in building a brand, and then launching them towards their path, right? So now they can get funding, they can get revenue, and start providing value to whatever ecosystem they choose to work with.
So a very strong tribe becomes like a geo, well organized, can serve different, can have like different branches with different games, and if their brand is really strong, all these games will come to your tribe and start, like giving you special deals and special things
Yeah,
for you to participate in their games.
yeah, yeah. And like somebody might say, well, it's kind of hard to picture that. And I'm gonna tell you like a very simple way for somebody to understand that. Like imagine I'm gonna start with a big example, right? So you can see kind of like the end process, and then I'm gonna break it down on how that's related to the, let's say, newcomer, right? To somebody that's starting from scratch, right? So if somebody's struggling to see kind of like how this would work, just picture it like this. Like imagine a gaming guild created by Justin Bieber, right? How many people would join that guild? So I think 20 million probably at a low ball, right? Imagine Mr. Beast creating a skin, like a third party game skin brand, right? Like his brand, Mr. Beast, that you can put it on skins. How many people would buy skins from that, right? And let's say many games, right? Fortnite, let's say Roblox, let's say Free Fire, etc. Right? So I think it's pretty simple. When I use an example like that, which is somebody that's very big, it's very easy to see, right, that it would be explosive. Like, who wouldn't want that brand? Like, imagine Mr. B saying, I'm open to work with any game. And this is the process of how you apply. Every fucking game in the planet will apply to work with Mr. Beast, right? Every single one of them. So, it's pretty easy to see it in that sense, right? Obviously, then somebody can say, well, I'm not Mr. Beast. Okay, granted, right? But you don't need that level, let's say, of reach to be successful and to generate money for yourself, right? Like, yeah, maybe Mr. Beast can generate, $1 billion in the gaming world. Okay, you can't generate a billion, but maybe you can generate a million, right? Or half a million, and that might be a good start, right? And then you grow into more as time goes by, right? So yeah, that's kind of like the vision that I see there.
Dude, my head is flying right now because that is a business. Like, if you ask me, freak, what would the next business you would put together in life? You just created it. Like, I didn't have that in my mind, but you just created that business for me in my head. And I'm still trying to configure it. Would it be like a talent agency, kind of like a tribe that gets top talent and gets to place that talent outside, or is just a tribe that we look to have fun, or there's so many possibilities on how to build it and where to take it, that it can actually be as many tribes as people like us are in the world. That's the only limit, is finding them and getting to all join and work together towards something.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I have a lot to digest here, but in DEGA, we're open to all this kind of tribes, the different kinds of tribes that there is. The system and the tools don't limit.
Yeah, we're a platform, right? So we provide technology. We're happy to work with anybody, right? Obviously, there are people that are closer to our heart, right? In the sense that they've been supporting us since the start, like people like the Cornucopias Games community. They're very close to our heart. We love them because they've been with us since the very start. It's an announcement that just came out literally a few weeks ago, but we've known them and been working with them for almost a year, I would say, at this point. No, not a year, like maybe like 10 months or something, 8 months. But obviously, they're always going to have a special place in our heart. But we're a platform, right? We're just technology providers, or in this case, for the DEGA tribes, we're just like providing, let's say, education in this sense, right? Of how to go about a process to build your geo. So, and then in case somebody's wondering, well, I keep hearing the terms geo and the term tribe, right? Geo is just, again, a categorization, right? A concept that we had to define because it doesn't exist, right? About all of these different types of satellite organizations there are around the game. And then tribe is the word that we are going to call them in DEGA, right? That's our thing, right? Somebody else might use the different names, right? Some other game platform ecosystem might say, yeah, this is a gaming guild, this is an esports team, and separate them. We're just gonna call them tribes because then every tribe can choose to do, let's say, the different type of roles that a geo can be, right? Because as you were saying, right, like if somebody wants to create a tribe that's very focused on having pro players and just having a team of elite players, I would say that's a role of a tribe, right? And then somebody else might say, no, we're not about competition, we're about creativity, so we're just designing skins, right? Or designing um, metaverses, right, within the land, right? We're designing the 3D buildings, stuff like that, and that's another role that a tribe. And then some tribes might be so big that they can actually work on many of these types of roles, right? That'd be great, right? Like if a tribe can work on many of these things, because that'll make them more resilient, right? And their brand will be more flexible. So so basically that's kind of like the relationship there, right? So tribe is what we call geos within our ecosystem, but geo itself, it's a concept that it's prevalent anywhere, right? Like all social gaming platforms have geos, right? They're just not calling them that, or they're having all the different types of names for that.
I love that, bro. Like, one day, like, I take care of the Dega tribe, and that is my tribe. and I have a lot of ideas to help out the tribes we have in Dega. So I think that's awesome. Before we jump into our next topic, which is it goes along with this. Do you have anything last to say before we jump in? We open also for questions. People, you want, if you have questions, drop them here. I have some from the suggestion channel. But while Carlos, if you want to say anything, something else, go ahead, and then we'll jump to the next topic and then to the questions.
No, just that. Like we'll be releasing that program for tribes very soon, and we also it'll right now it'll be obviously some of it it'll be like a little bit manual, right? Like we'll do stuff like step by step, and it'll be a little bit, let's say, human based, right? But we'll systemize this and we'll turn it into a module within the render application, right? So you'll have the tribes section there, and then you'll organize everything around the tribe within the render. It'll be a little bit more automated in the future.
Okay, so going along with that, while you ask all the questions, we're going to talk about a new partnership that's coming along that we just announced, but we're having a big event on Friday to showcase it and talk with the founders. But you just went to Mexico to meet with these guys, and I saw your digital twin created already.
Okay, don't spoil, don't spoil it, don't spoil it.
Okay, no, I won't spoil it, but bro, it's like, what is it? What is this partnership about, dude? That was fucking awesome.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about specifically what we'll be showcasing on Friday because that's a surprise for everybody. But Eugenia is one of the best avatar companies in this continent, right? Like in the Americas. They've done avatars for FIFA, for Horizon 3, just to name a few, and many, many others. They have a lot of secret projects right now that they can't even tell me about. I know that they're doing 3D avatars for Netflix as well and other large companies. So these guys are like top tier talent, right? And their specialty is avatars. And they do everything from kind of like cartoonish looking avatars to high quality, realistic photogrammetry avatars, right? So I went to just meet them in person. As well, you were the ones who introduced them to me and DEGA, and we've had a few conversations since last year, but I've never had the chance to actually meet them. So it was great to finally meet in person. They're really cool guys, really nice people. As always, I'm happy to connect with other creatives here in the Latin American region. And yeah, looking forward to what we'll be doing on Friday, but we will definitely not touch base on that. I want people to just see it with their own eyes. That's definitely not going to be spoiled today.
Okay, so okay, people, Friday at the same time of the Dega Spaces, we're gonna have, it's gonna be video and sound. So, but I
Yeah, they gotta
recommend
do video, man.
I recommend
Everybody has to jump
yeah.
on video. Like if you're doing audio on Friday, you're missing out, man. You're just
No, we're gonna use audio to tease people, and when they see like what are they looking at, they're gonna jump onto. We're gonna stream from Discord, but we're gonna have it on YouTube. We're gonna have it on Twitch, and we're gonna have it on LinkedIn at the same time going live.
yeah.
So everyone can see it.
Make sure to invite your friends, anybody that's interested in seeing like just getting a taste of where we're going with the metaverse. Don't miss out on Friday.
Yeah, and I know Rabbit Head hates when I say trust me, but this time I can say it. This is gonna be awesome.
It is.
Okay, so Carlos, we're about our community. We're about the people. We're about, we build this together. And there are some questions, not here because I don't see people posting here, but I have some questions from our how do you call it, from our Discord. And one of the questions that it was actually Last asked me to bring it to the space because he cannot be live. He always listens to the spaces recordings. So he said, please take this question to the space, and he wanted to ask about the marketing strategies to for other blockchains to get into this project.
Mm-hmm.
What are the strategies we're using, and what marketing things are we doing?
Yeah. So the real in Web3, everything is about community and trust, right? Sadly, we're in an industry in which a lot of people, rightfully so, distrust new projects, right? Because they've been burned a few times by bad actors, right? Obviously, DEGA is very different than most of the projects in the sense that we're fully docs, right? Like who the founders are, who the founding team is, everything. So we've been with our partners not only tweeting about something, but we've shared conversations with them in person and everything. So there's a really fundamental underlying base of trust that we have in DEGA that most projects don't have, right? And that has been probably the key, let's say, to the success of our current ISPO, right? Like, I don't know, most people might not realize this, but like there's been many other ISPOs going on in the last year, and they sadly had not done well, right? We're probably the top ISPO in the last, 12 or 14 months. And this is something that's not even coming out of myself. Like, this is something that a lot of people reached out to tell me. They're like, dude, it's like you guys are killing it, and it's great to see again a real interesting live project in the Cardano ecosystem, right? So, and there are a few others, of course, right? I'm not saying we're the top project in the last year, but we're definitely pushing the envelope in terms of ISPOs in the recent year. So, so yeah. So basically, how did we get that, right? It was again trust and community, right? And this is something that was key through the introductions that we got by our partners, right? Like we opened up with Meld and Cornucopias, then with Bricken, then with BiFi. And actually, we haven't even done the proper, like with BiFi, we only done the announcement. We have the AMA schedule, which you'll be announcing. But essentially, that has been the key to the success of the ISPO, right? To be introduced to the ecosystem by trusted parties, right? Obviously, the fact that I had worked at IOHK was also very important. I reached out to my friends there, they connected me as well. So all of these things were the key, right? More so than just saying, oh, I'm going to pay some advertising. That really doesn't have that much of an impact in the crypto world, right? It still has some relevance, and we did do some posts and stuff like that on certain channels. Some community, I mean some mediums reached out to us. They said they wanted an interview. We did it, right? We've done I think 3 interviews so far, and that has brought people in, right? It did generate some awareness, but most of the awareness honestly just comes from our relationships. So we'll do the same with Polkadot, with Polygon, and with Ethereum. We already have the top decks from Polkadot. I just won't say the name because and it's a done deal, right? It's a partnership we've already signed and everything. But we'll announce this in partnership. We'll do this together with them, right? When we do the formal naming. But most successful decks there. I'm already in conversations with the top 4 or 5 parachains there. So that's basically how we'll go about introducing ourselves to the new ecosystem, right? The same way we did with Cardano, right? We've built out technological integrations and relationships with the key players of those ecosystems. When they introduce us to their communities, that'll be basically the vote of confidence, right? Like, yeah, that guy is legit. That guy is a real team. They're providing real value, right? And people will trust the fact that it's coming from very intelligent, hardworking, and honest projects. And that's how we'll go about being introduced to each of those ecosystems. There's obviously some others, like the basics are also covered in marketing, right? Like content marketing, right? That we publish in all of our social media. We keep you up to date with everything that we're doing, the creative contests that we're hosting, all of that can technically account for marketing, right? But again, it's a very different marketing that what people have in their heads when they listen. When people say marketing in their heads, they immediately go to our advertising, right? Like paying ads. And that's definitely not the way to go about it in crypto.
Carlos, and I can add that also is marketing. The project itself is marketing because, okay, so what we're doing solves a real problem that touches real people. So when people realizes what DEGA is about, they bring other people that they know they need this or they're going to enjoy it or they're going to like it. So it's also having a strong, well thought project with a cool vision marketing itself.
Yeah, yeah, that's what you would usually call word of mouth, right? Like somebody gets excited about it, they tell somebody else. That's definitely being core to what we're doing. So I guess if we want to like just very shortly compress the answer to marketing to the marketing question, it would be basically we're doing partnership co-marketing, we're doing social media content marketing, and word of mouth marketing. Basically, those are kind of like the three ways that we're going about it.
Yep. And I think that's the strongest way because financially responsible and also naturally, is stronger than doing whatever traditional marketing and other, people come because they really
Yeah,
understand
I
and
mean,
like.
it's not gonna. Yeah, the other type of marketing is not gonna really work that much in crypto or in blockchain unless you're doing something massive, like I don't know, like you're doing a song with Snoop Dogg, right? But that's something that would be, insanely expensive, and it's fine to do it when you're like post Series A, right, or Series B fundraising, right? When you're at that level, yeah, you can do a song with Katy Perry or something, but that's not where we are right now.
Yeah. But it's worked, and what you can see, Laz, you asked the question, it's working and it's going to increase and it's going to scale and it's going to get stronger with every protocol. That because the question was also for the new blockchains, how we're going to do it, and it's kind of like the similar path but going stronger every time.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yep. So I think that's pretty much the end of this. We do have two events this week, Carlos, that we gotta invite people to.
Go for it.
I and okay, first is the Thursday AMA with Wi-Fi Finance. I think is gonna be a really interesting AMA. We're gonna have the founder, or who's gonna come from Wi-Fi.
Uh, the rabbit is the one that's organizing that. I really don't know.
Okay, but we will have you.
Yeah, yeah, I'm here like all the spaces. Yeah.
Okay, perfecto. So we will have Carlos and Wi-Fi talking about the partnership opportunities. Remember, Wi-Fi is one of the projects that also is giving you partnership bonus. So you want to understand what they're about and what we're gonna do together. That's on Thursday at the same time as DEGA Spaces, and then on Friday we will have a video AMA that will be casted from our Discord. So you can go directly to Discord on a stage in Discord, and we will be streaming to YouTube, Twitch, and LinkedIn
Yep.
for Eugenia. Those are two main events this week.
Yep.
So inviting everyone to attend. Okay. So that's it, Carlos. I think we're set for the day.
Awesome. Thank you, Freak. Yeah, and thank you everybody for joining us in this conversation. It's a very exciting week, as you've seen. Um, so Thursday, basically jump in to listen how the tooling that Wi-Fi has been creating will be integrated to this, because their vision is a multi-chain vision as well, right? They're preparing liquidity for layer twos. As you know, DEGA is all about layer two. So when I first talked to them and I heard that, I was like, yes, this is a partnership that makes sense. So tune in on Thursday. We'll learn about what they're doing, how we believe that that can be integrated into what we're doing, and the path going forward, the vision of the future of having billions of people using probably thousands of blockchains in layer twos, layer threes, So that'll be very exciting on Thursday and Friday. You'll get a visual, actual, real-time product working on how the future of the Web3 world will be, right? And again, that we're just going to give you a taste of what's to come in this new age of 3D interactions, right? So do tune in both days. You won't regret it, and invite as many people as you can.
Okay, people, thank you very much. Talk to you tomorrow. Okay.
See you, everybody.
Take care.
Take care. Bye bye.
See